Grab some glory!
We must fight. I must not falter. Of course. Yes. Let's make this quick. More foes approach! As you say.
Okay, done with you now. Alright, that's it.
Oh, you are fun, what you are. Very well. Yes.
course. It will be done. Yes. It will be done. There is no hope for you now. Of course. Traps right ahead. Let us end this quickly! Battle is finished. Done well. Well, that's one less to worry about. Very well. You have forced my hand!
I never liked this part. Is that all you got? Ready.
I shall be done.
Yes.
As you say.
Ready!
Where shall I strike? we'll be done.
I'll do it. Trap right ahead. I'm here. Trap right ahead. It's done.
Very well.
Yes.
Of course. Will not end well. Let us end this quickly!
Defend yourself! Yes.
You are It really suits you.
I suppose violence.
What?
Sometimes.
I've defeated one. As you say. Very well. This is annoying. As you say. You have forced my hand. As you say.
I'll try to be merciful.
This will not end well for you.
Yes. All right, battle it is then.
As you say. Excellent. Of course.
Hurt. I need help.
I will not falter! Very well.
My bruises are all
Very
bruised
well.
now.
More foes approach! Of course. I will not falter! Yes. Yes.
I never liked this part.
Very well. Of course. Must be. As you say. Of course.
Say the word.
You fare well?
Very well. Of course. Of course.
May God preserve us!
Now we go into battle.
Yes, I'll try to be merciful!
As you say.
need help?
It will be done. Of course.
And back! Right.
As you say. This will not end well for you. As you say. You have forced my hand. Yes.
Trap right ahead.
At your command. Very well.
Make a preserver. On my way.
Yes.
Ooh, that hurt. Right, man. Fight. Ankles.
Very well. Yes. Very well.
I will fight if I must. I shall.
My power is yours.
Trap right ahead. Of course.
Let us end this quickly! Burn and run! I am here. Yes. As you say. Ready. Very well. I shall do so. As you say.
Make this quick!
Poor bastards! Enough! Make us breath!
Let's grab some glory!
As you like.
Let's grab it!
I'll do it. Make us breath!
No, you first! I tried to be polite to grandmother. Done. As you wish.
We will need to fight shortly. Let us end this quickly. I will fight if I must.
I'll try to be merciful.
So shall it be.
As you wish.
At your command.
Trap right ahead. Ready. Yes.
My power is yours. Very well. Where shall
As in now. Let's have it!
downhill? Now you die! Very well.
I suppose violence. Sometimes.
Of course.
Ahead! Trap right ahead. Yes.
All right, let's go!
Now we go into bed.
That was, not pleasant. Yes.
It will be done.
It's done.
Stop! You will go no further! You do not have the right to demand my name. You have defiled our temple. You have spilled the blood of the faithful and slaughtered our young. No more. You will tell me now, intruder, why you have done all this. Why have you come here? I am Father Colgrim, leader and guide to the disciples of Andraste. Kill us, and you will face Andraste. She will smell our blood, and the blood of her children on you, and her wrath will be great. The prophet Andraste has overcome death itself, and has returned to her faithful in a form more radiant than you can imagine. Not even the Tevinter Imperium could hope to slay her now. What hope do you have? None but the disciples may approach Andraste. She is not ready yet. But when the time is right, she will descend upon the nations in fiery splendor, and all will know her. But perhaps there is a way to make up for your recent transgressions. It may be because I believe in second chances. All of us stumble through the darkness before being found and shown the light. Perhaps, through Andraste's mercy, her greatest enemy will become her greatest champion. Atop this mountain lie the remains of the mortal Andraste. The urn is watched by an immortal guardian. He is trapped in the past and refuses to accept the risen Andraste. Now the ashes prevent holy Andraste from fully realizing her new form. They are a remnant of her past incarnation, and she cannot move on as long as they exist. I speak not of destruction. The beloved needs to reclaim the ashes, to make them her own again. All it would take is a drop of her blood. Blood carries power, strength, knowledge. Through it, all the power that is held in the ashes will be returned to Our Lady. The Guardian has foiled all our attempts to reach the urn. He keeps what power remains from the true Andraste. He knows the disciples, and we cannot touch him, for he draws his strength from the ashes themselves. But you could deliver Our Lady what is rightfully hers.
I can just imagine the Grand Cleric if she were here. Her head would explode, I kid you not.
What is this talk of blood and power? And he thinks Andraste is reborn. It is preposterous. I do not like this.
There is nothing but madness in his words. He is a fanatic, and a dangerous one. Be warned, he means to lead you astray.
The rewards for performing such a service would be great, indeed. No! He waits for pilgrims to come venerate the urn. He will assume that you are one of these. The task is simple. I give you a vial of the holy Andraste's blood, and you empty the vial into the ashes. Whatever magic was held in the ashes will be undone, and our great lady will be freed from the shackles of her past life!
I don't know if I like the idea of us helping this Colgrim.
Once that is done, you will have earned your place as our honored sister. You only need a small pinch for that. The rest of the power contained in the ashes must be returned to Andraste. The rewards will be great. You will share in Andraste's power and be blessed as one of her own. Then we cannot allow you to leave here. To arms, my brethren! Andraste will grant us victory!
have forced my hand! Yes!
On it.
Let's grab some glory!
I will not!
Let me! Let me!
Your order? As you say. There is no hope for you now! Very well. Yes. As you say. Yes.
All right.
Let us be careful. As you say. Of course.
They say music soothes the savage beast, but I'm not going to test that theory.
What is this place? It's different from the rest of the ruins.
Yes.
I bid you welcome, pilgrim. Yes, I am the guardian of the ashes. I have waited years for this. It has been my duty, my life, to protect the urn and prepare the way for the faithful who come to revere Andraste. For years beyond counting have I been here, and shall I remain until my task is done and the Imperium has crumbled into the sea. Ah, is it not? Then perhaps this is the beginning of the end. When my brethren and I carried Andraste from Tevinter to this sanctuary, we vowed to forever revere her memory and guard her. I have watched generations of my brethren take up the mantle of their fathers. For centuries they did this, unwavering, joyful in their appointed task. But now they have lost their way. They have forgotten Andraste and their promise. I am all that remains of the first disciples. I swore I would protect the urn as long as I lived, and I have lived a very long time. Did anyone really know her, save the Maker? She would sometimes spend weeks alone in meditation, often without food or water. I cannot express in words my love for Andraste. You must seek her out for yourself. Everyone must. I made a vow to Andraste and to the Maker. My life is tied to the ashes. As long as they remain, so will I. You already know that the urn contains the remains of the prophet Andraste. What else is there to tell? When my brethren and I carried Andraste from Tevinter to this sanctuary, we vowed to forever revere her. I am all that remains of the first, and I... Welcome again, pilgrim. When my brethren and I carried Andraste, they have forgotten that Andraste was just a messenger. They speak no more of the Maker, only of their fault. It began with an ancestor of the one known as Colgrim. He saw himself as a new prophet, preaching the rebirth. Some disagreed with him. I heard their cries of pain and loss, which were quickly silenced. When my brethren and I carried Andraste from Tevinter to this sanctuary, we vowed to forever revere her memory. And now, our Andraste has gone to the Maker's side. She will not return. The dragon is a fearsome creature, and they must have seen her as an alternative to the absent Maker and his silent Andraste. A true believer would not require audacious displays of power. It began with an ancestor of... Some disagreed with him. I heard the Maker will sit in judgment of them when the time comes. When my brethren and I carried Andraste from Tevinter to this... What else is there to tell? When my brethren and I carried Andraste, I am all that remains of the first disciples. I swore I would protect. You have come to honor Andraste, and you shall, if you prove yourself worthy. Still, you must prove yourself worthy. It is not my place to decide your worthiness. The gauntlet does that. If you are found worthy, you will see the urn and be allowed to take a small pinch of the ashes for yourself. If not... The gauntlet tells the true pilgrims from the false. You will undergo 4 tests of faith. You will understand what it is when you face it. Before you go, there is something I must ask. I see that the path that led you here was not easy. There is suffering in your past. Your suffering, and the suffering of others. You betrayed Jowan to Irving. He was almost killed, and he lost the one thing that mattered. Lily. Jowan trusted you. Tell me, do you think you failed Jowan? Thank you. That is all I wish to know.
You are too hard on yourself. No one's perfect.
Accept your failings, but do not let them govern your life.
You could not have known what would happen. You did what you thought was best.
And what of those that follow you? Alistair, Knight, and Warden. You wonder if things would have been different if you were with Duncan on the battlefield. You could have shielded him from the killing blow. You wonder, don't you, if you should have died, and not him?
Yes. If Duncan had been saved, and not me, everything would be better. If I just had the chance, maybe I...
Ask your question, Guardian. I am ready.
You are ever the advisor, ready with a word of wisdom. Do you wonder if you spout only platitudes, burned into your mind in the distant past? Perhaps you are only a tool, used to spread the word of the Circle and the Chantry. Does doubt ever chip away at your truths?
You frame the statement in the form of a question, yet you already know our answers. There is no sense in hiding, is there? Yes, I do doubt at times. Only the fool is completely certain of himself.
And you, why do you say the Maker speaks to you, when all know that the Maker has left? He spoke only to Andraste. Do you believe yourself her equal?
I never said that.
In Orlais you were someone. In Lothering, you feared you would lose yourself, become a drab sister, and disappear. When your brothers and sisters of the cloister criticized you for what you professed, you were hurt, but you also reveled in it. It made you special. You enjoyed the attention, even if it was negative.
You're saying that I made it up for the attention? I did not. I know what I believe.
The way is open. Good luck, and may you find what you seek.
Something I can help with? Next to nothing, I'm afraid. Perhaps there is little to... Something I can help with?
I must ask, what does being a Grey Warden mean to you? I just wanted to know what, ultimately, being a Grey Warden is about serving others. About serving all people, whether elves or dwarves or men. As a Grey Warden, you are a guardian of men. Thus it is you who serves, not they. A good king, a true king, who cares for his land. The king who does not do this, who believes that he is entitled to his power, who abuses it and uses it for his own means, is a tyrant. If you live apart from others and your actions, but if you have power, influence, and strength, the drop causes ripples, and ripples spread. But I've lectured enough for...
Look, I appreciate that you brought me to see my sister. You're a true friend, and I love you. I just... that we... Well, something you need, my dear.
The smallest lark could carry it, while a strong man might not. Of what do I speak? Yes, I was Andraste's dearest friend in childhood, and always we would sing. She celebrated the beauty of life, and all who heard her would be filled with joy. They say the Maker himself was moved by Andraste's song, and then she sang no more of simple things.
Echoes from a shadow realm, whispers of things yet to come. Thought's strange sister dwells in night, is swept away by dawning light. Of what do I speak? A dream came upon me as my daughter slumbered beneath my heart. It told of her life, and of her betrayal and death. I am sorrow and regret. I am a mother weeping bitter tears for a daughter she could not save.
An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. The debt of blood must be paid in full. Of what do I speak? An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. The debt of blood must be paid in full. Of what do I speak? Yes, my husband Hysarion would have chosen a quick death for Andraste. I made him swear that she would die publicly with her war leaders, that all would know the Imperium's strength. I am justice. I am vengeance. Blood can only be repaid in blood.
I'd neither a guest nor a trespasser be. In this place I belong, that belongs also to me. Of what do I speak? That is not of what I speak.
Of what do I speak? Yes, they...
Echoes from a shadow. Of what do I speak?
And of what do I speak?
I'd neither a guest nor a trespasser be. In this place I belong, that belongs also to me. Of what do I speak? I'd neither a guest nor a trespasser be. In this place I belong, that belongs also to me. Of what do I speak? That is not of what I speak. I'd neither a guest nor a trespasser. Of what do I speak? It was my dream for the people to have a home of their own, where we would have no masters but ourselves. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, and thus we followed Andraste. But she was betrayed, and so were we.
The bones of the world stretch towards the sky's embrace, veiled in white, like a bride greeting her groom. Of what do I speak? Yes. I carried Andraste's ashes out of Tevinter into the mountains to the east. where she could gaze ever into her Maker's sky. No more fitting a tomb than this could we find.
A poison of the soul, passion's cruel counterpart. From love she grows, till love lies slain. Of what do I speak? Yes, jealousy drove me to betrayal. I was the greatest general of the Alamari, but beside her I was nothing. Hundreds fell before her on bended knee. They loved her, as did the Maker. I loved her too. But what man can compare with a god?
No man has seen it, but all men know it. Lighter than air, sharper than any sword. Comes from nothing, but will fell the strongest armies. Of what do I speak? No man has seen it, but all men know it. Lighter than air, sharper than any sword. Comes from nothing, but will fell the strongest armies. Of what do I speak? That is not of what I speak. No man has seen it, but all men know it. Of what do I speak? Yes, hunger was the weapon used against the wicked men of the Tevinter Imperium. The Maker kindled the sun's flame, scorching the land. Their crops failed, and their armies could not march. Then he opened the heavens and bade the waters flow, and washed away their filth. I am Kefir, disciple of Andraste and commander of her armies. I saw these things done and knew the Makers smiled on us.
She wields the broken sword and separates true kings from tyrants. Of what do I speak? That is not of what I speak. She wields the of what do I speak? She wields the broken sword and separates true kings from tyrants. Of what do I speak? Yes, I could not bear the sight of Andraste's suffering, and mercy bade me end her life. I am the penitent sinner, who shows compassion as he hopes compassion will be shown to him.
Had fun with the riddle game? I didn't think I'd fool you, but am I really a spirit, or is all this in your mind? Are you in the Fade, perhaps? Honestly, I don't know. I am part of the Gauntlet, I am Jowan, I am you. All these statements are true. To speak to you and to offer advice. You have wondered many times if what happened to me was your doing. Perhaps things would be different if you had not gone to Irving. But it is too easy to obsess over what if and what could have been. These thoughts will eat away at you if you let them. Forgive yourself, just as I have forgiven you. I have something for you. Use it well. It makes me happy, knowing you will be the mage that I never could.
Enemies ahead! As you say. Now you die!
Maker!
You really wish to be...
Let's grab some glory!
Yes.
I will fight if I must.
As you say. Very well. Let's hand this. Yes. You'll be done. Make a preserver. I'll try to be merciful. You have forced my hand. I'll try to be merciful. You'll be done.
Hey, see those thingies over on the side of that huge chasm? I bet they...
I can see a bridge, but it is clearly incorporeal. There's no way to cross on that.
That's it! That's an actual bridge piece right there. If we can get all the bridge pieces to be solid, we can make it across.
Hello.
Maker's breath. Andraste only favored the clever, it seems.
I thought it was a legend. I didn't believe.
You have been through the trials of the Gauntlet. You have walked the path of Andraste, and like her, you have been cleansed. You have proven yourself worthy, pilgrim. Approach the Sacred Ashes.
I never dreamed I would ever lay my eyes on the Urn of Sacred Ashes. I have no words to express.
I didn't think anyone could succeed in finding Andraste's final resting place. But here she is.
I could not have asked for a greater honor than to be here. I will never forget this feeling.
As you say. Yes.
you need me? Of course.
Welcome back. You were gone for quite some time. Well, did you find it? Is that? Oh, there's some dust on... No, that's not dust. Omega, I'm not worthy to look upon. What was it like, coming to the urn, I mean? Tests? Interesting. Very interesting. Perhaps my research will not seem so much like blasphemy to the Chantry now. We must organize an expedition. There is so much history here, it must be studied. And pilgrims should be allowed to come to the urn. But the urn belongs to all the faithful. How can you deny this to them? No, we must share it.
I agree. We cannot withhold this from others. It is not our place.
You have noble intentions, Brother Genitivi. But can you say the same of your brethren in the Chantry?
So everyone comes by and takes some ashes from the urn. Ooh, I hope that urn is self-replenishing.
I will spread this good news or die trying. I must return home. I have much to do. If you ever find yourself in Denerim, please visit me.
I am not a rich man, but I have a small collection of interesting artifacts, and I do owe you a reward for coming to my rescue. I hope to see you soon, my friend.
Will you stop eating?
I'm hungry.
Stuff your face at camp. For now, watch the bloody road.
But we've been looking at the road for hours. No travelers all day.
Will one of you pay attention?
Hey, who's that?
Enemies ahead! Leave while you can! You should run while you can. I tried to be merciful. You should have fled.
As you say.
Let's have at it!
Oh, it always comes.
I never liked this part.
Of course. Enough.
Here comes trouble.
Yes.
Let us end this. Enough.
Right then.
Will not end well for you.
It always comes to this, doesn't it? Oh. Nothing but a
Down!
We are victorious. Yes.
Trap right ahead. Hey. Trap right ahead.
All men are the work of our Maker's hands, from the lowest slaves to the highest king.
Nice to see you again. Really? Oh, pardon my... I would like to examine them in any event. Let me see. The scrolls are old, no question, and the script. It's written in cipher. Early believers used them to keep their writings safe from the Tevinter Magus. These could be authentic. Please, let me examine it. I need parchment, quill, and ink. What was the trick to the cipher again? I examined your scrolls. I know a few of the early chantry ciphers, but I'm not fully familiar with this one. The bits I have made out. This may be an account of Maferath's final days, and perhaps more. I know, it's remarkable. The same Maf... If we could get a real translation, well, it could be the find of our lifetime. When I finished decoding it, it could take months. The ciphers were... Who knows what secrets we can uncover, what truths we can find. Here is all of the allowance I have for acquisition.
Those who bring ham.
So much to do.
Maker does not bread sinners. Oh, would you stop correcting me? I know the chant like the back of my hand. As there is no time for chat. Sister, that... It's true though, isn't it? Doesn't... All men are the work of our Maker's hand. From the lowest...
If it isn't the champion who succeeded in the quest for the Sacred Urn, I had not expected to see you so soon. I've written to the Chantry, telling... What do you think of that? I'm quite excited. You made this all here. It will certainly do more good in you. And if I can ask, have you gone to see the Arl? Then hurry. And now, if you will...
As you say.
Dwarven crafts. Fine dwarven crafts. Direct from Orzammar.
I'm here.
You won't find better.
All right. I guess I really don't know how to ask you this. How do I say this? You think it would be easier, but every time I'm around you, I feel as if my head's about to explode. I can't... Here's the thing. I don't know how to say this another way. I want to spend the night with you. Here, in the camp. Maybe this is too fast. I don't know. I wanted to wait for the perfect time, the perfect place. We sort of stumbled into each other. And I really don't want to wait anymore. I've never done this before. You know that. I want it to be with you. While we have the chance. You know, according to all the sisters at the monastery, I should have been struck by lightning by now. Sure. But if you get... You do realize the rest of our little party here is going to talk, right? They do that. I won't have to. Morrigan will give me that... So, what now? Where do we go from here? Right, I can... Before we go, have I told you that I love you? I did. Well, it won't kill you to hear it again, will it? See?
You and your friends are formidable folk, indeed. It's good to have you along. You and your friends are formidable folk, indeed. It's good.
I await your command. So, full of questions, are you? I await your command. We're in camp, so 'tis as good a time as ever.
Even the Templars will be impressed by the powers you will command. The Circle of Magi stands ready to assist, Grave. There are all...
Yes.
You are... wise to invest in the effectiveness of your followers. Such a force has not been seen since the collapse of the Tevinter Imperium.
Have you encountered many abominations, apart from the ones in the Circle Tower? Ah, yes. The first time I saw an abomination, it was the knowledge that I could easily become one of them that frightened me the most. One slip. All it takes. And there is no turning back. Or at least that's what they say. Of late, I have begun to wonder if a mage could be so possessed and still retain their sanity, their humanity. Yes, it is madness and cruelty that define abominations. I never saw that.
Something I can help with?
You called. I caged myself. A weak mind is a deadly foe, as you are no doubt aware. I told you before that I came to your lands with 7 of the Beresad. We made our way across the Ferelden countryside, until the night they came from everywhere. The earth beneath our feet. I saw the last of the creatures cut down, too late. I fell. I am told no others survived. I don't know how long I lay on the battlefield among the dead, nor do I know how the farmers found me. I only know that when I woke I was no longer among my brothers, and my sword was gone from my hand. I searched for it, and when that failed I asked my rescuers what had become of it. They said they found me with nothing. I killed them, with my bare hands. I did. I knew they didn't have the blade. They had no reason to lie to me. I panicked. Unthinking, I struck them down. Do your people have no souls as we know them? Convenient for you. That sword was made for my hand alone. I have carried it from the day I was set into the Beresad. I was to die wielding it, even if I could cross Ferelden and Tevinter unarmed and alone to bring my report to the Arishok. They would know me as soulless, a deserter. No soldier would cast aside his blade while he drew breath. If I knew where to look, it would be in my hand now. Near Lake Calenhad. Perhaps those words are empty. You called. As you wish.
Here I am. Oh, I swore to the crows that the things they taught me were to remain a secret. And while, yes, if you are truly insistent, well... Here I am. Oh, this should be good. Go ahead. Well now, I imagine I was simply never given the opportunity to choose another way. So if that choice presents itself, why? Now that you mention it, I am not entirely certain. I was but a boy of 7 when I was purchased. For 3 sovereigns, I'm told. Which is a good price, considering I was all... The Crows buy all their assassins that way. Buy them young, raise them to know nothing else but murder. And if you do poorly in your training... Oh, I don't know about that. The Crows who... In Antiva, being a Crow gets you respect. It gets you wealth. But that does not mean doing what is expected of you always. And it means being expendable. It's a cage, if a gilded cage. Pretty, but confining. As for what I'll do in the future, it might be interesting to go into business for myself, for a change. Far away from Antiva, of course. Come now, enough chit. You have excellent taste.
Oh, marvelous.
A fine gift. You have my thanks.
Why, thank you so much.
If there's anything I can do for you, please, please tell me. I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount.
Indeed.
Yes.
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 Indeed.
Horse feathers. Indeed.
Concentrate, like we practiced. Now, fire!
As you say. Of course. Very well.
It's your time to die as well.
I'm taking these apprentices to Redcliffe. The first enchanter... They're young.
It will be done.
You return. Might you have news? What of him? He awaits my brother's decision on his fate. Good luck, my lady. You return. Might you have You have? Wonderful. Let us go at...
Where am I?
Be calm, brother. You have been deathly ill for a very long time. Do you remember nothing?
Tegan? What are you doing here? Where is Isolde?
I am here, my husband.
And Connor? Where is my boy? Where is our son?
He lives, though many others are dead. There is much to tell you, husband.
Dead? Then it was not a dream.
Much has happened since you fell ill, brother. Some of it will not be easy for you to hear.
Then tell me. I wish to hear all of it. This is most troubling. There is much to be done, that is true. But I should first be thankful to those who have done so much. Grey Warden, you have not only saved my life, but kept my family safe as well. I am in your debt. Will you permit me to offer you a reward for your service? I understand, but regardless of your motivations, I feel you are worthy of a reward. I would like to honor your efforts. Nothing more. Then allow me to declare you and those traveling with you champions of Redcliffe. You will always be a welcome guest within these halls. And for you, Warden, a shield of the same make as those that have been given to our finest knights.
We should speak of Loghain, brother. There is no telling what he will do once he learns of your recovery.
Loghain instigates a civil war even though the Darkspawn are on our very doorstep. Long I have known him. He is a sensible man, one who never desired power.
I was there when he announced he was taking control of the throne, Eamon. He is mad with ambition, I tell you.
Mad indeed. Mad enough to kill Cailan, to attempt to kill myself and destroy my lands. Whatever happened to him, Loghain must be stopped. What's more, we can scarce afford to fight this war to its bitter end. We have no time to wage a campaign against him. Someone must surrender if Ferelden is to have any chance at fighting the Darkspawn. I will spread word of Loghain's treachery, both here and again. Those claims will give Loghain's allies pause, but we must combine it with a challenge Loghain cannot ignore. We need someone with a stronger claim to the throne than Loghain's daughter, the Queen.
Are you referring to Alistair, brother? Are you certain?
I would not propose such a thing if we had an alternative, but the unthinkable has occurred. Tegan and I have a claim through marriage, but we would seem opportunists no better than Loghain. Alistair's claim is by blood.
And what about me? Does anyone care what I want?
You have a responsibility, Alistair. Without you, Loghain wins. I would have to support him for the sake of Ferelden. Is that what you want?
But I... No, my lord.
I see only one way to proceed. I will call for a landsmeet, a gathering of all of Ferelden's nobility in the city of Denerim. There, Ferelden can decide who shall rule, one way or another. Then the business of fighting our true foe can begin. What say you to that, my friend? I do not wish to proceed without your blessing. I'm not sure that would help our cause. We would become the criminals, and our accusations would become excuses. Furthermore, I'm not even certain where Loghain might be. That depends. If we cannot get does that mean Loghain could win? A man who killed his own king, who has gone mad with power? Perhaps. We must see that he does. Why do you think he had me poisoned? If I call for a landsmeet, refusing the compromise and I'm sure he'd rather I died from the poison. Had the demon not interfered, that's exactly what would have happened. Unless we convince some of Loghain's allies to abandon him, that, as a Grey Warden, you may gather allies to you. But we need those forces to face the Darkspawn, not to battle against our own. Very well. But before we proceed, I believe there is the matter of the...
He does.
Have him brought here, Tegan. Jowan, what you have done is not in question. You tried to assassinate me and set into motion a series of events that nearly destroyed everything I cherish. What have you to say in your own defense?
Nothing, my lord. Other than to say I am sorry. I expect no mercy for what I have done.
I see. Grey Warden, have you anything to say on Jowan's behalf? Oh? That is... unexpected. And what would you have me do? As the injured party, my ability to see the merciful path is strained. True enough, and wisely said. Jowan, I hereby turn you over to the Tower of the Circle of Magi. May the Maker have mercy on your soul.
Thank you, my lord. And goodbye, my friend.
Now, back to the matter of the landsmeet. It will take some time to recall my forces and organize our allies. I would prefer to wait until that is done before calling the landsmeet. In the meantime, I suggest you pursue the remainder of the Grey Warden treaties. We will need all the allies we can get if we are to defeat the Darkspawn horde.
My husband lives thanks to you.
We are still not yet ready to call the landsmeet, Grey Warden.
You have restored...
Pursue your treaties.
I am most grateful.
And return with new...
It's up to him what happens next.
If anyone can force an end...
Swing and stab! Swing and stab!
Hail, Grey Warden.
As you say.
I have been studying Mother's grimoire. Do you wish to hear what I have found? 'Tis not what I expected. I had hoped for a collection of her spells, a map of the power that she commands. Disturbed? Yes, perhaps that is the right word. Here, in great detail, Flemeth explains the means by which she has survived for centuries. Not unless one also happens to be an ancient abomination. No. Flemeth has raised many daughters over her long lifetime. There are stories of these many witches of the wilds throughout chastened legend, yet I have never... And now I know. They are all Flemeth. When her body becomes old and wizened, she raises a daughter, and when the time is right, she takes her daughter's body for her own. Indeed. That is primarily what this tome details. The various... I recognize all of it. I am to be her next host. This is my purpose. I do not know. Perhaps 'tis as she said. The Darkspawn threaten her as... According to the tome, if the host is already powerful and trained in magic, it takes far less time for Flemeth to settle in. There is only one possible response to this. Flemeth needs to die. I will not sit about like an empty sack waiting to be filled. Flemeth must be slain, and I need your help to do it. And what would that do? At best, I would receive pointless reassurances. At worst, Flemeth would imprison me once she became aware I know what I do. I know my mother well enough to be confident she would show no mercy when it came to her own survival. I must do the same. It may seem so. If you think of Flemeth as a mother, she did not wish anyone to get a hold of this information, least of all me. Now I have, if I do not act on, because if she is slain while I am near, I am not certain that she will not simply be able to take possession of me right there. So obviously I cannot be the one. Then what needs to be done is for you to go back to Flemeth, confront her, and slay her quickly. I doubt she would truly be dead even then, but the thing I must have is her true grimoire. With it, I can defend against her power in the future. Everything else in her hut is yours. Not really, but the sooner the better, no? She would like everyone to think she is invincible, but I highly doubt that is the case. I am grateful.
If there's anything I can do for you, please. I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected. And with your...
Something I can help with?
On your order, Grey Warden. The Jarl was generous, but we're a mercenary force, Warden. Much of our equipment... Very generous, Warden. If you need staff after the battle, keep us in mind. On your order, Grey Warden. We are aware, but these men and women...